If you've got a 2014 and up Toyota 4Runner, I'm going to show you guys how you can almost triple your low beam output and get an unbelievable high beam in less than 5 minutes. So let's get this thing tore apart, let's get it upgraded, let's fire it against the wall and see just how much brighter it is compared to stock. Now the first thing you need to do is remove the low beam dust cover, and on this particular headlight it's a little bit different compared to other headlights. It is off at an angle here, as you can see, and all you have to do is twist it counterclockwise to remove it from the vehicle. Just go ahead and give it a little twist, pull it out toward you. It's going to look like this. Now this one's got a hole in it because we were doing some HID testing on this vehicle a few months ago. Now if you reach in here, you can twist your factory low beam bulb counterclockwise. As you'll see, it's got a little bit of slack to it, and you can disconnect the factory wire harness and pull the bulb off of that. Now here's a little comparison between the H11 factory low beam bulb and the S-V.4 bulb that we're going to be installing today. As you can see, the depth of the two bulbs is not actually that much different, and that's very important for this particular vehicle. You cannot fit most aftermarket LED headlight bulbs in these housings. The dust cover is just too tight to the back of it. It won't fit, and then you won't be able to reinstall the dust cover. That is never recommended. You're going to get dust, you're going to get moisture in there. It's the last thing we want. So we wanted to find a bulb that would fit with the factory dust cover and perform really well. The S-V.4 does exactly that. You can go ahead and reinsert it right into that same opening the factory bulb came out of. Give it a clockwise twist when the tabs are lined up. And finally, you can plug the factory connector back in to your LED driver. Now I will say this, some of these vehicles have reverse polarity, and what that'll mean for you is you'll get this install done and you'll go to power your lights up and one of them may not turn on. If that's the case, go ahead and take that connector, disconnect it, flip it around, plug it back in, it should work just fine. Now if you take this LED bulb driver and push it toward the bottom rear of that bulb, there's just enough room to fit it in there and reinstall that factory dust cover. As you can see, it's back on there, no problem. And now we can move on to our high beam. So your high beam is exactly to the left of your low beam bulb, and if you just reach in here and you can press in on this tab, disconnect the bulb, and we can now plug our LED headlight bulb in. The high beam is going to be using the same exact bulb. It's the S-V.4 bulb in 9005 size. And for the high beam, we're actually going to need a PWM module. These vehicles came equipped with a DRL. When you're in gear, it'll engage the high beam, and certain vehicles and certain bulbs will flicker and strobe when the DRL activates, and on this 4Runner it's no exception. One easy way to handle that is using a GTR lighting PWM module. They plug in just like this. This end goes to your factory wiring, and the bulb goes right back in the original high beam slot. Nothing to it. So we can head back to the vehicle now, reinsert the high beam bulb, lock it in just like this. Now the high beam is the same story as far as polarity goes. If you find that you get this thing plugged in, for whatever reason it doesn't turn on, go ahead and flip this plug around. It's no big deal and it should work just fine. Now we've got a little bit of slack here. You can go ahead and zip tie this up as soon as you're done with it, but I like to save that step for the very last thing that I do, just to be sure that I don't have to redo any wiring, reroute anything. So let's head in the vehicle, make sure everything powers up. We'll head to our studio, fire these things against the wall and see how much brighter they are compared to stock. When we pulled this 4Runner into our studio to test the light output, we could not believe how dim these factory projectors are. These came in at 170 lux, which honestly, I'm not kidding. We've had fog lights that bright on this channel. 170 is not much. Thankfully, they've got a nice beam pattern. That kind of redeems them. We've got a nice cutoff line. We do have a hot spot right in the middle of the beam pattern. I'm hoping we can brighten that up with the S-V.4 bulbs. Let's get those put in. Let's see how much brighter those are. Now with the S-V.4 bulbs installed, you can see just how much of an improvement those are over those stock bulbs. This came in at 630 lux, which compared to 170, it's well over 3 times brighter, just like I said in the intro of this video. And man, driving this thing at night is going to be so much better now. You're going to actually be able to illuminate the road a little bit further than you could before with those stock bulbs. We've got a nice amount of flood left and right, and we maintain that tight beam pattern from the factory. We don't have any new glare above the hot spot. We're not going to be getting flashed. This is an awesome upgrade. Now let's check out that high beam. Now the 4Runner has a pretty good high beam from the factory, thankfully. The low beam's not great, but that high beam's not bad. As you can see, we've got a lot of flood. It's pretty centered around that hot spot, so it gets down the road quite a ways. The factory high beam came in at 720 lux. Now, with the S-V.4 bulbs installed, as you can see, it is significantly brighter once again. This came in at 2,420 lux. 2420 compared to 720. That is a big jump. If you're looking for a good punchy high beam that's going to actually work for you rather than against you on the back roads, this is exactly what you're looking for. Now, as you can tell, those S-V.4s are unbelievable in this Toyota 4Runner. We love those bulbs. They work in just about everything, but they really shine in these projector low beam and reflector high beam setups that these things come with from the factory. Now, if you're new to our channel, you probably haven't seen the KC Highlights Pro 6 bar that we did on the front of our 4Runner a few months ago. If you haven't seen that, you got to check that video out. That thing is unbelievable. We've also got a really sweet module from Diode Dynamics that allows you to run 4 of the world's brightest reverse lights on the back of one of these. I got a video showing you guys how to do that. So by all means, we're pumping out Toyota 4Runner content all the time. I'd love for you to see it here first. Subscribe to our channel and visit our website, headlightrevolution.com. Thanks for watching.